from afar, you're actually involved physically battling. You know, it's a crazy thing.
And also for the youngsters out there, he's just a true testament of what hard work is, because if he won 95 events, he probably entered double that amount in order to get where he's at. So it's like, you can't just expect to win. You gotta battle and battle and battle. When you start winning, you gotta keep it going. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure it can happen overnight. It's years of putting in work.
It's years and years of work, man. And thank you guys for having me again. But it's just like years and years of work. It's nonstop. You know, you gotta be dedicated, committed to what it is that you're about. And for me, I just fell in love with the battling side of the dance. You know, it's like its own. It's like, besides being a b-boy and dancing, battling is another skill. And I fell in love with that. And I feel like sometimes the places where I can show that now is through the contest sometimes, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, it's a good vehicle to show it through, because that's what it makes you do. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way I think lately in the last couple of years has become more of that, you know? But it's quite interesting to see where it's gone. You know, I like to just say that, you know, like you said, it's growing and we try to evolve with it and keep up with it, but it's not easy sometimes. You know, sometimes you're like, oh man, I missed this. But I guess as long as we stay true to ourselves and we always still find that time to find those things that make it feel special to you, as long as you keep finding those things, then that's what's going to keep you motivated and stuff, you know?
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yo, we want to give a big shout out to everybody watching, everybody that's been tuned in since earlier today, from Crossmore's episodes to this episode. We should maybe go a couple of questions just to knock them out and then go back.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to read a couple questions, so make sure you type. Make sure you're in that chat. Please ask any question that you have, for whether it's Roxrite, myself, or Smurf. Go ahead and write down. We're going to read just a few questions and then get back to Roxrite. So go ahead, Smurf.
The next question is from Ari Field, and it says, big ups from Canada. My question is, what is the craziest move moment that you guys have seen live at a jam?
All right. Yeah, for me, there's a lot.
There's a lot.
But
You've been to a lot.
Damn. Okay. One of the illest moments that always stands out to me. I came to BBoy Summit 99 at the UCLA campus, and I was just walking around checking out the ciphers, and Flo and Ivan were in one cipher, and Kamel and Vengeance in them were in one cipher. They were in the same cipher together, and you can tell things were getting a little heated.
I'm so jealous.
So Ivan jumped out and started doing like at the end of his round, he started doing back handstrings. And when he did like a backflip and went to a kick up, as soon as he landed on the kick up, you see Flo flip over him, and Landon came out his face like, what's up?
Yeah.
That was like the rawest moment, and you can just see everybody just like rush into the cipher. And that, to me, it wasn't necessarily like the move was crazy. It was just the way the energy, the aggressiveness, the battle approach.
Where was that at?
At the BBoy Summit 99.
Where the cops crashed it.
Yeah, the riot. But that call out right there is probably one of the illest call outs I've seen. And I'm like, I don't even want to walk out and call out people after that. Because it's like, what do you do?
Yeah,
I can't match that. It's like, walk out and be like,
that's one of the craziest call outs ever.
I think that the craziest thing I've seen was World of Dance. It was Ronnie Ruin. It was a power move. There was a power move cipher where like who had the craziest power move. And Ronnie Ruin, man, he just went in there, man, and he just hit the combo of the century. It was like an airflare, he ended with a hollow back on his halo.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I saw that live, and I just jumped off stage. I couldn't even believe it. But that was mine. Yeah,
I was there. Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't remember everything.
I remember that Ruin killed it.
I don't know, man. There's been so many crazy battles. Definitely with even these two involved, and just seeing that shit that go down. I mean, I don't know, not just a battle, maybe something live. I just thought it was really dope to see Swift Rock for the first time. I think it was Evolution 2. And he was out in Florida, and I just saw tapes of him as when he was young. I never got to really see him, so I didn't know what he looked like. But when I finally saw this dude breaking, I was like, it looks like Swift Rock. And they told me, Swift Rock. Did I say Easy Rock?
Yeah, no, you said Swift Rock. Yeah,
Swift Rock. And I saw Swift Rock getting down. It just blew my mind. Just be like, oh, this is somebody that I never thought I could ever see, because he lives across the world, and here he was just getting down. So that was just a big moment for me, for sure.
That's dope. That's dope. Swift Rock. There's a question from Josh, and it says, "Hey Rocks, when is the 100th win going to happen?"
That's a good question.
Can we have a party when you do the 100th win?
Yeah, let's do it.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I mean, it's picking and choosing my battles. It's a hard thing to do. Just to show up and even win. I mean, the last couple of battles that we've come out on top, I feel like I've pushed myself to the limits, and try to make magic happen. So try to do that 5 more times is quite a challenge, but I'm up for it. So my goal is to hopefully hit the 100, which is a challenge, is to try to do it within the year. So starting in June of this year, I started competing more actively, and that's to try and get those 9. It was at 91 when I started. The goal is to get to 91 by April, May next year. So
damn. Well, if anybody's up for it, I know it's you, man. I know you can do it for sure.
That's gonna be dope, man.
Just thank you for everybody tuning in. This is That Being Said live podcast with Rocks Right. I'm your host of the most cast, but we got Smurf. Please ask questions in the chat. We're going to answer those questions as best as we can. We also have a hotline where you can call in. We're going to put that up right now, hopefully. Hopefully our tech guy's not in the back eating a sandwich or something. Tech guy, put up the chat.
Fire interview.
Thank you. This is That Being Said live podcast with Rocks Right. We'll have the hotline chat up in a bit. Just getting back to you, man. I don't know, shit. There's just so much to ask you.
How do you practice for an event? Like, so is somebody out there watching you like, yo, he's won 95. 95?
Yeah.
You've won 95 events, right?
Let's stop saying that, man.
Yeah, I know.
You feel like shit. I've won like 3.
That's fine though. like what do you do? Do you like work out? Do you like practice? Like, what is it that, like, do you listen to music before you get it? What is it? What's your mind state?
Yeah, I mean, before, you gotta have almost an aggressive mind state of believing in yourself. Like, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna fucking go off. You know, you gotta go in there like thinking like, yo, I got this. You know, it's like a way to like build yourself up, and it's almost, as they say, what you say is important, right? Like if you say, oh, I'm just gonna go have fun. I mean, you're having fun already. That's what you're doing. But it's how you word it and how you kind of rephrase it in your mind. Like, yo, I gotta do this. I gotta hold it down. I gotta do this. Like, it's more like you're telling yourself something serious, so you're knowing that this is fun, but it's also gonna be a serious thing because you're not about to prove yourself.
Sure.
You know, you're gonna win, lose, or draw. You're still gonna learn. It's not like the world's gonna end because you lost.
True.
You know, it's just, it wasn't your day, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Take it in the chin, walk away, and come back stronger. You know, that's how I've always approached it. But, you know, preparing and keeping up with the times and stuff like that. At 26, 27, I had to adjust a little bit of my diet. I started feeling a little bit, I started gaining a little bit of weight. Things started changing for me. And as I got into my late 20s into my 30s, I started adding some workouts and stuff, you know, like working out a bit more. Nothing extreme, but just stuff to help me be able to sustain myself in what I'm trying to do. I mean, you know, I'm moving around a little bit different. I'm losing flexibility. So I'm trying to really maintain that and be able to still execute some of the moves that I've done in the past, but also come up with new ones and incorporate the old and the new together, because there's a lot of things that you come up with that you may remember that you never even used in a battle or in a contest. So sometimes you go back and watch something like, oh damn, I forgot I did that. So you bring that into today's time and you incorporate it and you try to evolve it with what you're doing now. But obviously some of that stuff I can't do, you know, from 15 years ago. Some of that stuff is really hard for me to do because, you know, I got like wrist pain.
I don't believe you.
Pain. So
I don't believe you. You're the king of execution, bro. Executing. Speaking of executing, I know you're talking about doing that and working on it, but I mean, you've been so like just killing it. Like, you've never gone down level to me. You know, you're always upgrading. And like, you know, you battling Focus 10 rounds, that wasn't your first. Didn't you battle Crumbs 10 rounds?
Yeah, that was in the final of Break Mania in 1999. It was the final of a tournament already, so we did a bunch of rounds already. Yeah. And then the final was already like 9 rounds with the tiebreaker, I think.
Wow, that's crazy.
Was that one of your first kind of long, kind of like, we're going
I had long battles before that, but in tournaments, no, that was my first. I had just turned 17. It was Break Mania. Zulu Gremlin put it together. Shout out to Grims.
Zulu Grims.
Yeah, Zulu Grims, mentor. Yo, he did a lot. He threw Break Mania, and the winner was going to get a plane ticket to go represent the West Coast as Suware team at the Pro-Am in 99. So we went in there with my crew, like not expecting anything, you know. Got down, ended up doing the 2-on-2 with my other crew member as well. We battled Flo and Wicked in the first round. Damn. We lost, but then I was still in the 1-on-1. And they had a 4-way battle as well where we all battled, and I ended up making it to the final against Crumbs. And, man, that was, like, such a crazy battle. You know, it was just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And the fact that I even got a tiebreaker out of it, I was like, whoa, you know, it was pretty crazy experience, especially at a time when, you know, Crumbs is already a legendary B-boy. Even then already, he was already known and respected. So to us, we all had mad love for him already. And it was like, damn, like, you know, just to get to battle with him is like, it was just a dope battle for me.
Dope.
What year? I know you represent Renegade Rockers. How'd you get down with Renegades? And my second part of the question is, once you got down, did you feel the pressure of holding up the name from the crew members that came before you?
Yeah,
talk about that.
Renegades is a hard crew to maintain, you know. And, yeah, Wicked, Jazzy J, all these guys. Sway,
Kid
Politics.
David's okay.
Yeah, Kid David is the another one, right? Yeah, I mean, when I got down with them, actually, they asked me at BBoy Summit 2000. I had just gotten into a cipher battle with Wise 9 and Abe from Flex Play. We ended up battling both of them by myself. R.I.P. Wise 9. We battled, and then Politics was in the cipher, and he saw the battle go down. And he was like, "Whoa!" Like I haven't seen a kid like he had been keeping up with me already, but at that moment he saw me really like come out and battle, you know. And it was not in a contest. Obviously, it was just in the dark.
Yeah.
at the pre-party of the summit, you know, and he came up to me. He's like, "Yo, you down to get down with Renegades? Like, we really been looking at you, scouting you." And I was like, "Nah, thanks, man. I still got my crew. We're trying to rep."
Sure.
At the time, the guys were still like getting down, and this was in February of 2000. So by May of 2000, by the time I was about to graduate high school, a lot of the guys in my crew weren't necessarily as active, or they weren't really trying to develop more or be active in the scene or go to battles with us. So then Paul was, you know, we stay in touch and we like, you know, just exchange and just talk here and there. And that summer was when I got down with them. You know, it was me, OJ, Ground Level, Epic, Golden Child. Who else? We got a few other guys. Dion. We had a whole new squad of Renegades that got put down, you know, and R.I.P. OJ. They were important cats for the crew to rename itself and reestablish itself, because at that time Renegades had taken a small hiatus, you know, once Jazzy J stepped out, and then Wicked went on to do like Jump on the Groove in Manhattan and Vegas and stuff like that. The crew wasn't as active no more, you know, so that was the 2000 class was like the guys that came in to help rebuild the name and the crew. And I mean, yeah, there's a lot of pressure, you know. You seen these guys kill it in the 90s, and next thing you know, I'm one of the guys that is like put in a position to carry on like such history.
True.
You did a damn fine job.
You did.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. Yeah, it was a hard thing to do, you know. For a minute, it was just like we hit walls, you know, and you just have to keep pushing and recruiting and finding talent to help grow that name and reestablish the name. And you want to nurture talent, you know. That's another thing. You find talent and you want to breed that talent. Whereas now a lot of people, we take the guy that's already established. Like, this guy's already got it. He's dope, cool, let's take him. Instead of like helping him develop and create a style and understand the game, understand the dance and for what it is, you know. You know, like a lot of us helped each other.
Right.
So Kid David is one of those kids.
I was gonna ask,
So yeah, Kid David was already getting there, and he had some good moves and stuff, and he was already funky. You know, he was already building his own name. So we got, you know, the guy scouted him, and we got him in Renegades, and then we started, you know, put him under our wing. And started kind of just sharing with him, not necessarily like being like, oh, you got to do it this way or that way or this way. It was just more the experience of practicing with people like Wicked, D-Rock, you know, myself, Monkey, all of us. Just that helped. That helped me when I got down. You know, when I got down practicing with Wicked, was like, whoa, Wicked's so dope. And you know, I remember just being so inspired to be a part of the crew. But it was definitely a hard thing to push and a hard thing to reestablish. So,
was there anything you could just say for the new generation that are building a crew, whether it's a crew or a family, just things that could help them, that you've gained through experience, to help them, you know, any knowledge to help them kind of keep growing and, you know, not to give up and to stay strong and to help them just build and connect, you know?
With their own crews?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, experience. You got, you know, I think it was like, for me, it was like, this is based on my experiences, what I try to share.
Sure.
You know, I got in Renegades in 2000. I had opportunities to battle with other people. It was very rare that I did that like once or twice, but it took me 5 years to even consider, 5-6 years to even consider to really like expand on that, you know? It's good. You got to believe in the people you roll with, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be down for those that you practice with, those that you're there for and are building with, you know? You got to believe and share your approach and just exchange with one another, you know? That's what it's about. It's about building together. And don't just cop out on the quickest opportunity, you know? Take your time, represent what is you. Represent those people that are around you, and just build with that for a minute, you know? Write it out. Be a student, learn together, grow together. That's what a crew is about, you know, being a family. being one there for one another and understanding each other's weaknesses, strengths, and just vibing. And it's not easy because nowadays the dance is there's so much opportunity in it that it's hard to say no to a lot of things. But you still gotta rep your crew. You still gotta go out there and rep with them and keep building with them. So that's my advice, I guess. Just always still hold it down for those that were there for you in the beginning and help you get to where you're at.
Definitely.
You talk about crews being family. I'm lucky because Casper's my crew, but before that, he's my family.
Yeah.
We grew up together, and like most of the guys in my crew are actually guys I went to high school with. I'm 35, so we've been together for a long time.
That's
and
dope.
I seen that now there's a lot of one-on-one competitions that take place. So do you think that it's harder for a b-boy that's 16 right now to make up a crew in 2017 where the crews aren't being cultured as much as the one-on-one? So for example, you can make a name as a one-on-one battler and then join a Red Bull team or a Monster team. Now it's not like back in the days where you had to have your own crew and enter as a crew and you couldn't battle with anybody else. Do you think that affects the making of a crew now?
Definitely, yeah. It has a big effect on it. It's with crews and stuff, it seems like you don't see as many people trying to rep full crews, but that's also with the events. Like you don't see too many events catered to have crew battles. You have like Battle of the Year, Freestyle Session this year. There's a few battles, that'll have that, but it's always, they narrow it down to like 3-on-3s more, 2-on-2s. Yeah. So you don't see like, 7-on-7, 10-on-10, like full crew battles. So there's not really a motive for a lot of these kids to really continue to build like that, and it's understandable. It's just the times. It's just what's happening. But I would still suggest for people to establish themselves with their locals, the local kids that are from the same scene, the dudes that you grew up with. Like that's usually your crew. My crew was dudes I grew up around the way with. Same town, same community.
Yeah,
true.
It's like Renegades is just bigger city, same region. You know what I'm saying? So
hell yeah.
Yo, we got somebody on the line right now, Cass.
Yo, what's your name? What's your question?
Peace, what's up? This Why Not?
Oh, it's good. Why not?
Yo.
What up, people? Yo, I got a question for Rocks. Before I do that, though, I was watching also with Cross, and you guys were talking about the Freestyle Session Japan, and that crew from Japan was called I Love Footwork.
Oh, it was I Love Footwork.
Okay, that's what's up.
The 300, yeah, they were killing it.
Well, I think that was an all-star crew, too. I think, like, a member of Waseda or somebody, some guy named Katsu. So it's like, yeah, it was a mix of people. Yeah, they were dope.
Dude, we had a brain fart, man.
Yeah, I Love Footwork is dope. They're still dope.
Yeah.
Yo, for Rocks, man, I got a question about, the video work and stuff that you're doing. Like, what's your goal with, like, reach out to people like Red Bull? Do they support, like, your other talents besides dance?
Yeah, actually. Can you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I also have been doing video and stuff, like been into video stuff and editing stuff for quite a while. As far as creating ideas and content for my sponsor Red Bull for online stuff, they've been very supportive. They've been very helpful for me to learn. It's almost like you're getting a free workshop from the people you work with. I've shot 2 series for them behind the camera and assisting a director as well, and then I was in a show as well. So being in a show, you just kind of see the way they work and you learn. But also, like, the crew code is something that I helped co-create. The crew code was a series about breaking crews and the codes that they stood by, and different people that did different things in different parts of the states. Like Massive Monkeys. It was some crews in France, like Hustle Kids from Holland, Soul Mavericks from UK, Pokemon from France. Like all these different crews, and it was cool to be behind the camera because then I can see the way it works, and I want to be able to represent the culture and share the knowledge that we have and the approach to our dance in a way that hasn't really been promoted as much. Because it's like usually the dance is always promoted as like boom, highlight, but there's not much story behind that highlight. Who's doing the highlight?
True.
Why is he doing it that way?
True.
And this is why, and this is who these people are, and that's the approach. And it's been a great opportunity for me, honestly. Like, they've been helping me out a lot in that side. And the last series I did was the Meets series, and it was about meeting different guys in their own environment. And it was fun. I mean, we had Bruce Almighty, Nagin, Victor, a bunch of guys, man. It was Taisuke. It was dope. So being able to do those things are a lot of fun. definitely makes me appreciate the dancer's story more, because you're like, damn, I knew that,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that much, and that's what it is. But yeah, it's been great, and I think that's really an outlet for us to really take advantage of. I think that is very important for us to be able to tell our own stories. Nobody can tell the story better than yourself, because you're the one living this. Everybody wants to come into our culture and take it and tell our stories, but they want to do it a certain way.
Yep.
And we are the ones that have to take control of that. So we ourselves have to create our own media content. We ourselves have to, go out there and publicize, like this podcast, for example, like you guys doing this and creating your own source of information for the world to understand us and learn from us. That is very important. You got to be self-made, self-sustained. So that's a way to go about it.
Word. Did you get that?
Yes, I got that, y'all. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Rocks, man, and thanks, B-Boy News. Let's celebrate our greats and our people while they still living.
That's
Yo,
right.
Thank
Yo,
you, man.
thank you.
Shout out, why not?
Yo, thanks, bro. Thank you, why not?
You just say right now that you're editing videos for Red Bull, and it's dope because they really don't have like a B-Boy editor. So in a way, you're that person that's creating the lane for the person behind you. So in 10, 15, 20 years from now, when Red Bull needs a breaking video edited, they'll hopefully reach out to a breaking B-Boy that you brought up to under you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like you're creating a lane. Like
Yeah, I mean, with the editing, I was helping shoot most of it, but yeah, I mean, they get to see what we do and like how we approach it, and they ask us for advice, but at the same time, we are also learning from them. So
True.
yeah, the goal is to do that, get our foot in the door and share what we understand this culture to be, the dance, the way it looks and everything, and what's dope, what's not, and that's what's happening. Even
Fresh.
Lilu was they had him be the slow-mo guy at the BC1 World Finals for like the last 2 years. So he sits in this little trailer and he picks the highlights of the battles, and he's like, okay, slow-mo that, because some of the slow-mos before were kind of random ones.
I noticed that like in the past it would be like they did something great, but then it'd be like him like wiping his face with the towel. It's just like, dude, wrong
moment.
Yeah, wrong moment. Like
That's funny.
Yeah, so that's
what's up.
Yeah, so you see, there's different. We're getting involved in different ways. Yeah, so
sure. Well, they need B-Boy News there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
you guys need to do a warm-up show to launch it.
Hey,
the pregame.
For real, we need to broadcast live
do
from
a
the actual battle.
Red Bull BC1 party over here.
On the 100th win, we're gonna make that happen.
Yo.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talk to us.
What are the top 3 cities in the world for breakdancing right now?
Did you just call it breakdancing? That's our producer, guys.
Tech guy.
Fuck.
Tech guy.
Fuck.
What's,
three
in your
cities?
opinion, what are like? What he's saying is like, your opinion. What are like the 3 big countries, I guess, that are really killing it right now in the scene?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's definitely Eastern Europe. Of course, they're just having so much talent come out, and I understand why now from going there,
Yeah.
But also U.S. still and Japan. I would say Japan, Eastern Europe,
Japan.
and even Europe still has a lot of talent coming out all the time. So it's just hard to say, but I would say Europe in general, including when you include like Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, for sure.
When you include them as well with Europe all in general, like just the whole region, those 3 regions I would say are like the.
And it's crazy because Korea for a while was just kind of like everybody was talking about Korea, but I've been seeing Japan kill it recently, dude.
Japan's
They're
been-
on another level, man.
It's that new generation.
We got another call. Hold on.
The new
Yeah,
Gen.
Yeah.
Yo, what up? You're on That Being Said live podcast. What's your name? You got a question?
Yeah, I'm Tremaine. I'm from Alabama, actually.
Oh shit.
I'm breaking from out there. I just got a question for Rox. Right? What are some things transitional-wise that you do as far as the approach, man? You got the coolest transitions, man.
Oh, thank you, man. As far as transitions, I always try to do things that are opposite of the way I move. So usually I have to make myself feel uncomfortable in moving out of a move. Usually what that does is it pushes your limits, but also could make something that you're used to moving in one direction all the time. It can make that move look different, and that's where the transitions come in, and it starts to look different. It has a different look, different feel, and it has a unique move to the next move, So that's the key thing, is transitioning from move to move. But yeah, I would say make yourself uncomfortable. Go to your back and do something that you're not used to doing. Go to your opposite hand, your weak hand. Use your weak hand more. Do the things that you're weak at to kind of expand on your transition game.
Yo, I hope you got your question answered, bro. Thanks for the call.
We got one more call.
Yo, what's up? Who's this? You're on With That Being Said podcast with Casper Smurf and Rocks, right?
Yo, Ricky Rose on the check-in, a.k.a. BBoy Fish Scales, Trenton, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, USA. What's poppin', Cali?
Yo, wait,
What
hold
up,
on.
what
Fish
up?
scales. That's a weird name, bro. I like that. It's like smelly.
What's Gucci?
Yeah, baby. I keep it moving. You know how it is. I don't really have much of a question. First and foremost, I got nothing but the utmost respect for you guys. You guys have put in that work, you put in that pain, and I respect you guys for that. However, I got 30 coming to your PayPal if you could shout out my podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Shit.
Thank
$30
you.
to our PayPal, Concrete All Stars at Yahoo.
You got it, homie. Hey, SoundCloud me at Heavy Duty 25, the number 25.
Hold on. Heavy Duty 25.
I got 30 coming to you PayPal right now, homie.
Wait, let's say it one more time.
Heavy Duty 25.
Hold on, we're putting it on right now. We're putting it on right now. Heavy Duty 25. Hold on.
We're checking
On
this out.
SoundCloud. Oh, there, I gotta sign in.
Oh, we
Maybe
do.
it's
We'll
not-
get there.
Heavy Duty
Wait,
25.
say it one more time for the viewers, just one more time, though. We'll check it out.
Goddamn, Casper. You're not. All right. Heavy Duty 25.
All right, Heavy Duty 25. Look at the screen. We got you on the screen, bro.
We got you on the screen, brother. Thank you for your support. We'll check it out. Thank you for the support. We really appreciate it.
We're gonna leave it up for 2 minutes.
Thank you. All right, guys. Peace.
Much love.
Yo, big shout outs to everybody watching. If you guys would like to sponsor your podcast, your music videos, your music, whatever you guys do, your DJs, your breaking videos, hit us up to an email. We can put it in the beginning of the show and get yourself a couple of seconds so the world can see what you're all about. So make sure you email us, ogbboynews@gmail.
That's right. Because we are doing this not just for us, but for the culture. We're trying to make something grow for you guys. And it's hard, man. So just any support, whether it's a food stamp, whether it's a $1 donation, it really helps us keep bringing more videos each and every week for you guys. So make sure you subscribe, share, like, donate, whatever you can do. Just watch, tell people about this channel. We really do appreciate it. That being said, is the live podcast. I'm your host, Casper. We got Smurf, and of course, our special guest, Roxrite. So, Roxrite is back with us. Let's answer a few more questions, shall we?
All right, so this question is from Angel A for Casper. Was the IBE the end of your B? Whoa. Hold on. What the
Yes,
fuck?
it was.
It was Casper. Wait, let me read this. For Casper,
yeah,
was
read
the IBE the end of your B-boying as far as battling? I saw your break boys and I saw it took a lot out of you. Will we see you battle again?
Well, I'll tell you, I finally lost the battle, guys. I'm normal. It finally happened where I really did actually lose. And just, saying I partied too hard for 3 weeks, and I slept 2 hours, and I was up at 5 a.m., but that is no excuse. I was just partying. It's hard because...
You're young.
Let me talk. But it's like you watch a television show, and they portray you in a certain way. So it's just hard to really go all in depth into it. But I'm a B-boy. Please watch a lot more of me, whether it's online or just see me breaking, and then you would know that answer already. I haven't stopped. There's no stopping. I did lose a battle. I am normal, and I did party way too hard. I just did. You can see it. I was just partying way too hard, and then I had to wake up and just battle, and I was puking before and after it. It was just not a good way. I'm not telling you guys that's the way to do it. I'm saying I did it the wrong way, and I was just partying that whole week. So, of course, if you know me as a B-boy, I've been here. I'm still going to be here. Appreciate your shitty question.
Yo, with that being said, also, I got something to do with that because the week before he was at IBE, he came to Vegas to visit me. And
well, no, it's all me. It was all me. I was just partying way too hard, and then I entered a competition, not thinking about it. And
but we're all
they
young.
didn't mix. They didn't mix.
We live and we learn and we party, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're done with Heavy Duty. Can we take this shit out? Sorry, Heavy Duty. Your $30 have run out.
Appreciate your support, man.
Bro.
Heavy Duty.
Big ups.
Check them out. SoundCloud.
Roxrite.
Yeah.
So, 2017, man. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now in this community? Like, what do you see yourself doing?
That's a hard one. Honestly, just I just want to be good. I want to be okay. I want to be in a place where I'll be comfortable as far as my living situation as well. Breaking is a hard path to take in terms of something that we do for a living. But to be honest, I still want to be involved. I still want to be able to teach and share the experiences I had throughout all the years in my breaking, and just the knowledge that I've acquired throughout the years, and share that because somebody took the time to share with me, so I want to do the same back. But there's many different outlets for me. I'm not trying to stay limited to one. I want to do more video stuff as well. Continue building on that.
Definitely.
I eventually want to write a book about some of the stuff that I've experienced, and yeah, you share with the world my story and the ups and downs that I've gone through in my life to get to where I'm at right now. And that's not to say that in 10 years I could be doing this still, but I
Right.
definitely won't be battling, that's for sure.
Right.
I think once I'm done with that, I'm done with it. Like it'll be my time is come and gone, and that's it. Like I'll walk away happy.
We'll see. I don't know.
Right? It's like a never-ending thing. Like, oh, I'm a battle forever.
I mean, if you're still winning, why stop? Oh, shit.
Well, let's answer a few more questions. We still got rocks right here, so make sure you hit up with the chat. Yeah, let's go into it.
Real shit. B-Boy News. That being said, podcast is a plus for the community, for the culture. Thanks, guys, for doing this every Wednesday. What do you think of B-Boys wearing sweats or joggers,
Yeah.
pants to the jam?
Or
Or
kung-
looking
or
like
kung
wearing your
fu-
pajamas at the
Or
jam.
kung fu pants.
Yeah,
I-
basically looking like shit. What do you think about people that look like shit at jams? Like
To
dirty
each his
sweats?
own. To each his own, man. I used to wear sweatpants.
Me
I know
too.
David Damwell wore sweatpants. But
Everybody wore sweatpants.
Yeah.
you know, I'm wearing denim right now. I don't know what the fashion is going to be 10 years from now, but it is what it is. To each his own. As long as you're breaking fresh and you got your own thing. Because I know years ago people were laughing at me because I was wearing dirty Converse and a hole in a shirt and like a flannel buttoned up, and everybody was laughing at me because I wasn't wearing the pro kids. I wasn't wearing all the weird. But now, like, a lot of people breaking that stuff, and so to each his own. Just get down, make sure you're fresh.
But you know what? With that being said, Casper talks about wearing flannels. It's like that's the way we dressed every day. Like our lifestyle was just going to Sloss and Swap Meet, picking up some Dickies and a flannel and whatever we can afford with like $30-$40. So most of the times it was a pair of Converse and some Dickies and a flannel, So it was just what we wore. So it wasn't like we got ready to go to an event. But we always wanted to look fresh at an event. We had every color Converse even though we were broke.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to be fresh and we wanted to look different. We wanted to have something else, and it's just that little flavor. So I think that if you're young and like you're under maybe 23, that's acceptable if you look dirty at a jam. But once you hit your mid-20s, if you're looking trashy, you need to be keeping it classy, because how you dress and how you present yourself is a reflection of who you are inside. So if you got no style outside, maybe your breaking has no style. I don't know anything, so what do you think?
No, I hear you. I mean, it's just you stay as fresh as you can with what you can afford,
Yeah.
It's just some of us are limited in what we can afford to buy, and the thing in hip hop and breaking has always been to be as fresh as you can with what you got, With fashion, as far as fashion, I mean, it's up to you what you want to wear, what you feel comfortable dancing in, but also it's like I wear certain things that I battle in, I still wear them outside of battling, Certain jerseys, I like to rock jerseys. That's just the way I've always wore shit.
That's your steez.
Yeah, that's my style. So it's just, it depends, But yeah, stay fresh, look fresh as you can, and that's part of the dance as well. That's part of the culture. You got to look fresh, and I think that's one part of the scene that is not as active anymore. You know,
Yeah.
just that representation of that hip hop fashion from the past.
So let's get into Rock's Right's closet. All right. What do you
Damn.
what shoes do you like wearing? Like, do you like wearing shorts when you battle? What's your go-to when you're about to get down?
Damn, that's a hard one. I mean, you go through different phases, different times, right? But for a while, I was enjoying the Cortezes a lot. Lately, I've been rocking the Huaraches, but the one shoe that I really like is a Puma shoe. It's a running shoe. It's called the Future R698s. I was rocking those for a bit, and they're just super light and feel really comfortable. But they also have like this like runner like look. They're still like pretty clean. As far as clothing, I like to wear long sleeves. I've just been practicing in long sleeves for so long that it became natural to just like slide around, and you don't feel your skin getting stuck on the floor,
Yeah.
That's another thing. As far as pants, I've been wearing joggers, but I try to change it up a bit, Shorts I'm not too comfortable in. I feel like my knees feel weird after.
I used to break in shorts, man. It was my shit.
I did too for a while.
Out of nowhere, dude, I've been wearing jeans. When I put those shorts back on,
it don't feel the
it
same.
was like kryptonite.
Yeah.
It was like kryptonite to me.
Yeah, you can go back and see footage of me rocking shorts for a minute.
That's
Yeah,
fun.
I seen some footage of you rocking shorts.
Yeah,
That's dope.
So that was a thing for a while, for sure.
So where do you usually go shopping at? So like if you're about to go get some fits, do you go to the mall? Do you order your shit online? Where do you get your shoes at?
Well, the shoes, the Pumas I came across in Korea. Taisuke is sponsored by Puma, and he took us to the store, and they hooked him up with a bunch of a certain amount of money they can give out, and he kind of laced us up too, you know. So
Oh, yeah.
I ended up coming across those like that, and that's how it usually happens, you know. I see a pair of shoes I like somewhere, and like, oh, those are pretty fresh, and sometimes they won't have them out at all the stores, so you gotta go to, you know, like stores that are more like exclusive, and you find some better colorways there. So sometimes I go to shops like that, sometimes online. Just depends what I see where I'm at. You know, if I'm at the mall, maybe I just got done working out, I hit up to some of the shops, see what's new. I see something I like, I might cop it. So
You know, going back to Puma, and we're not sponsored by them whatsoever.
yeah,
But I do have to say one thing that I really appreciate. I know so many crews, so many huge crews that I'm sure I look up to and you guys look up to, that have tried to go to Adidas. They don't want anything to do with B-Boys. Nike, you know, they'll put a little sign up for a huge event somewhere in Korea or something, but they don't really want to do anything with B-Boys. But Puma has always locked it down, and they always support B-Boys. I've been through so many things with Puma, like just where they hooked it up, and like even when I did a movie, we were trying to get Adidas and Nike, and they literally said it, we don't want anything to do with breaking, not for
Damn.
any film. And Puma were like, dude, we're down. Like if you guys want to show breaking clips at our shops or whatever, like we're down. So we got Puma suedes for the flick. But I always
Fresh.
thought that was dope. And I'm a Converse head, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm straight Converse, but like
Yeah.
I do have to say that about Puma. So
Yeah.
you know, don't sleep on Puma.
Don't
Yeah.
sleep on Puma, y'all. Just as important as shoes are and the way you dress, like image is everything. Do you keep your branding, like your Rocks Right image, conscious, like stuff that you post of? How do you take care of your brand, or do you see yourself as a brand? And if you do, what's the best way for somebody that's trying to build their name, a way to preserve their own brand? Like, what do? Do you keep that in mind, or do you just do things off the fly?
It's a mix of both. You know, you have to be definitely conscious of what you're presenting with your image and who you are and what you represent. You know, I think staying true to what you believe is like you're sharing with the world what it is you're about and what it is that you represent in this world, you know. So if you're going to share with the world, like for me as Rocks Right, I'm going to show you breaking and what I learned through breaking and my mentality and approach in this dance. That's something that I like to share, like teach, you know, even like just sometimes just like experience, like moments that I've experienced, I'll share that. But yeah, you have to be conscious. You know, you at this point, at this day and age, you have to be conscious of what it is you're doing. It's like everybody's basically marketing themselves. You know,
Basically,
Straight up.
everybody's marketing themselves in this world of dance, and just even musicians. You know,
Well, it's important.
It's almost like we're all in that for ourselves.
Yeah,
you know?
it's
You're
true.
But
But
constantly pumping yourself.
skateboarders were doing that in the 80s when when skateboarding was dying out and they didn't have all those huge, you know, sponsors and promoters. They started making their own kind of clothing line to sponsor, and they started getting their own vans to jump out there and promote their stuff or make their own tapes.
Yeah.
And you know, it helped skateboarding, and I feel like breaking, you know, we have so much help as it is now, but that doesn't mean with what we have, all the tools we have now, you can go brand yourself. You know, you
Yeah.
don't have to wait for someone to come to you. You can make it happen. You know, it's up to you to make it happen. We all done it in some way. You know,
Yeah.
whether it's finding someone like a sponsorship or branding ourselves or creating a whole other, you know, format for B-boys and B-girls. It's up to us, you know, to keep the culture growing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all on your own now. Everything's in your fingertip. You know, at your hands. You can get a camera.
Yep.
You can shoot basically stuff that looks like a movie nowadays. You know, whereas before
It's
it's like
crazy.
home footage. Now you can like make something look super cinematic. You can tell your story online. Somebody might like it, pick it up, share it. It might get a million views. You know, it's just a new time, and in a way, it's a better time for people like
Yep.
us that are self-sustained, self-made in a way. You know, you
Yep.
create your own. You got to build your own brand, and
Definitely.
yeah, now's the time.
Definitely.
do you feel like if you like somebody that has a big name and they end up like I wouldn't say losing a competition wouldn't hurt your brand, but crashing or over crashing, does that affect your brand, or is it okay nowadays to crash? Because I remember there was a time where if you crash, you were whack.
Yeah, I mean nowadays, you can build a brand on anything now. You know, it's just I think what matters is in the end, like people are still gonna, if they like you for who you are as a person, they're still gonna support you. You know what I'm saying, or what you've done. It's almost like what you've done, and if people still respect that, they're gonna always have that respect in a way. You know, unless you do something rude to them and like
Right.
I see what you're saying.
yeah, you know, piss them off. But usually, I feel some people can crash and it's still like they still get the support, you know. It doesn't really matter. But before, in terms of like the B-boy skill and all that, yeah, of course when you crash, you're like, he's a little sloppy, you know.
Right.
But as far as like people following you, I don't feel like it has an effect.
Going to what you just said, is there? You don't have to name any names. Is there any B-boys that are out there that you really looked up to and they were just kind of didn't give you a chance or kind of rude to you, like?
No, actually, that I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Not everybody I've met was like pretty cool. Actually, everybody I've met so far. I mean, when I first met, maybe for example, when I first met, like Hong, and I battled against him. It's not that they.
But that was more of a.
It was like a rivalry thing.
Yeah. Because I had that with Bourne and David too.
Yeah,
it's fine.
But it was not like a, like brushing you off thing. It was just like he didn't really understand. We didn't understand one another. He didn't speak English.
Right.
It was stuff like that. I think the first time I met Lilo, he wasn't really speaking too much English, and it was like, oh hey, what's up? We knew of each other. But it was not like awkward, but it was just different, you know. So yeah, I've never really had like a, I don't know, like a standoff like that with somebody. So
I have.
Yeah,
I've had a few that are. I never forget now.
I've gotten into arguments and battles or after, but it was just like we squashed it and then.
But you come off humble though, like
that's what we're talking about. Is being humble, because you never know, like that person, even if they don't have a name, you know, they come over and they go, hey, you know, you inspire me, or you're one of my favorite B-boys. To take the time out and like, go, oh yeah, I'll take a photo with you or whatnot, because it's, you know, I feel like everybody's a part of this culture, whether we're big or we just started or whatever the case may be, big or small. Yep, we're all in it together.
We are in it together. It's a beautiful culture, man.
Yeah,
Rocks Smurfcast, talking longevity. How do you develop yourself and your style even though your body starts to limit your movements? Let's start with Rocks.
Yeah, you got to just expand with what you're able to do. You know, once you run out of certain things, like, for example, I haven't been able to flare as much in the last couple of years because of an injury that I've had in my arm and my back. So it's limiting in that. So then I got to work around that. You know, it's almost working around your injuries or the limits that your body starts to develop as you grow and you age. That's in terms of dance. You know, as far as dance career or you pursuing this dance as something more, you really got to be conscious of when to battle and when not to play yourself out. You know.
Hell yeah.
I think for myself, I really wasn't too like into battling consistently, and like I was just breaking my whole life and I was just doing street shows. So as far as that's concerned, it's like longevity wise, I just it might, I don't know how it might come off, but I just keep it safe for myself. Like I know my limits and I don't like being hurt, and I don't like hurting myself. So I'm not gonna sit there and do mad nutcrackers, because even though I could do them, I don't feel like I want to stress my body out. Like I'm a little older and it takes me longer to recuperate. So I feel like now I have more fun with just being on top and just moving around and enjoying myself in the moment. And I see that for a long time I wasn't able to do that. I was always breaking with the mentality, oh, I got to do this, I'm expected to do that. Now I'm more free, and when I feel more free, I do less physically demanding stuff, and it's more of just a game.
That's fresh. Yeah, that's dope.
Well, you guys didn't really leave me with much, so, but I mean, yeah, I mean, both of what they said. I mean, I personally, for me, I was so focused on what other people thought, and it was like a lot of, you know, pressure on. I put a lot of pressure on myself, because once I started winning, or once I was the Cypher B-boy, I always had to kill it in Cyphers. I always had to kill it in competitions. But then, you know, it started to not just physically hurt me, but just inside, it just really hurt, because it was draining. It was mentally, physically draining. So as what they both said, they said that, I agree to it, and that's what I was going to say, is just that now I'm trying to have fun, and just have fun for myself, and I feel like it's going to help me keep going within this culture, you know, because if I would have kept going and focusing on training so hard and breaking so hard on my body and thinking about what other people thought, I think I wouldn't be able to keep it longevity, like doing it for myself and to have fun and just kind of let go and not to worry about what everybody else thinks, because everybody's got an opinion, and at the end of the day, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. So
do it for yourself. You can't please everybody. You know,
I think a lot of especially younger cats, they come into the game and them worried about what other people think is like a mental block to them, and I see a lot of them not being able to have fun because of what they think other people think, but what other people think is none of your business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Yeah, I mean, for me, when I got in Renegades at first, that's when I hit like a really big slump where I almost stopped dancing because I didn't feel it was as fun for me, and it was because they were just advising me on like, oh, you're lacking this, or you're like, so you're trying to instead of incorporating what they were trying to share with me,
Yeah.
I was trying too hard to break how they wanted or how
Right.
they envisioned
Yeah,
it, you
yeah.
know. So I started to lose touch with myself in the way that I felt made me, you know. And then I think we all go through that, you know.
Yeah.
You're easily influenced when you're young as well. You
Yeah.
look up to people that you know, you getting down with people you grew up watching, and it's like, okay, maybe I gotta do that, and then but
Right.
they don't feel like you, so you
Right,
gotta
right,
go
right.
back and maybe take that inspiration and use it to your style and the way that you're moving, the way that your body moves, you know.
Hell yeah.
I think that there's an analogy I have that everybody eats a certain way. So when you eat, you're not worried about what other people are thinking about while you're eating. You're just eating. So if you just take that same concept in dancing, you just dance and not worry about it. You walk a certain way, you talk a certain way. Everything just comes out naturally, and you automatically make up your own style without having to try. It just happens. So just break freely, I guess is what I'm trying to
Break
say.
free.
Break free. Big shout outs to Moy.
Yeah.
Shout out to everybody that stayed tuned. Thank you for tuning in. I know we had a long night. We really appreciate you. Make sure if you haven't supported this channel yet, do it now by subscribing, sharing, liking, and just telling your friends about That Being Said podcast. And of course, BBoy News, our channel. I'm your host, Casper. We got Smurf, and of course, Legendary Rocks, right? Thank you so much for being on the show. Before we end this, is there anything that you could say to promote, plug, anything that you want to tell, you know, whether it's the new generation or the old, anything to inspire anybody, and just plug anything that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I have my own website, rockstrirepresents.com. It's a website that, you know, I used to promote stuff. It's been on hold lately. I've been on hiatus on it, just a little uninspired on the writing stuff and content stuff for my site. But I'm about to relaunch it in a few, like, pretty soon actually.
Dope.
With new stuff. So check that out. Rockstride95 on Instagram, Twitter Rockstride, and
Check out
Facebook
Instagram.
Rockstride Official. But as far as just in dance, I think kids gotta remember that, you know, when you do this, it's not something that is gonna come overnight, you know. And don't worry about being dope right now. If you just started and you've only been dancing 2-3 years, don't worry about winning BC1 right now. You're not gonna do that right now. Like, you gotta take time to develop yourself and develop your dance and understand your style and the way that you're moving and what you want to represent in this dance, you know.
Hell yeah.
Take time learning that, so that in like the next 5-6 years, 7-10 years, you're gonna be one of us influencing kids on dance, or just influencing and inspiring the world on breaking. So don't try to rush it, man. Take your time, walk a little bit, take your time, learn the game, learn the dance, learn the history, learn everything that comes with this dance and what it is that you're representing. Because if you're not understanding what a b-boy is or what hip-hop is, then you're not really doing this or preserving this or pushing this in a way that is could evolve to something new, you know.
That's
Heck yeah.
fresh, man.
Wise words from a wise man. We really appreciate you, Rocks, right? Thank you for coming
guys.
in, man.
I really appreciate you guys having me. It's dope.
Thank you so much. You really inspired me right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is That Being Said podcast. I'm your host of the most, Casper. Smurf Rocks, right? Thank you. Until next time, peace. Yo, man.
most lit jam I've been to all year, bro. Niggas.
You all know that shit. You all know that shit. I go to jail every motherfucking other week for fucking assault. Fuck you.
This jam in the world. Don't fucking cry. Let's go! Let's go! We're gonna start the battles right now. Fuck you.